$25 billion to combat Asian carp.
They're not accountable to anyone. I get 10 to 12 million views a month, and they won't come out and address my progressive audience.
And where it should have stopped is at the deal standpoint when they thought about it.
Well, you have to understand, the first time I ever heard of Black Lives Matter, they were chanting pigs in a blanket, talking about police. Pigs, talking about our police. Pigs in a blanket, fry them like bacon.
That was an opinion of somebody, and that was a retweet. I'll put it out there. People can decide for themselves. I don't take business.
Really, how many people do that? You mean they moved out and then they said, "Oh, the hell with it, I'll move back in." You know, it doesn't sound like a very normal. You mean they moved out and what? They missed it so much that they wanted to move back in?
Well, and then
really, how many people do that? You mean they moved out and then they said, "Oh, the hell with it, I'll move back in." You know, it doesn't sound like a very normal. You mean they moved out and what? They missed it so much that they wanted to move back in?
Well, and
Did you use the word smart? So you said you went to Delaware State, but you forgot the name of your college. You didn't go to Delaware State. You graduated either the lowest or almost the lowest in your class. Don't ever use the word smart with me. Don't ever use that word.
Oh, give me a break.
Because you know what? There's nothing smart about you, Joe. As far as my relationships with all people, I think I have great relationships with all people. I am the least racist person in this room.
Get back in the business of creating a more peaceful world. This way.
I don't know who created Pokemon Go, but I'm trying to figure out how we get them to have Pokemon go to the polls.
Watch Hillary examine the terrain. Watch a campaign with the man Tim Kaine, and Tim Kaine, and Tim Kaine, and Tim Kaine, Tim Kaine in the memory. Tim Kaine in the brain.
Not good. Believe me, not good.
And I have a simple proposition here. I'm here to ask you for your help. Where I come from, you don't get far unless you ask. My name's Joe Biden. I'm a Democratic candidate for the United States Senate. Look me over. If you'd like to see, help out. If not, vote for the other guy. Give me a look, though. We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by go. You know the thing.
Running against the worst candidate in the history of presidential politics puts pressure on me. Could you imagine if I lose my whole life? What am I going to do? I'm going to say, I lost to the worst candidate in the history of politics. I'm not going to feel so good. Maybe I'll have to leave the country. I don't know. And then they have cans of soup. And they throw the cans of soup. Rick, it's too heavy. But a can of soup, you can really put some power into that, right? And they lay it on the ground, and the anarchists take it, and they start throwing it at our cops, at our police. And if it hits you, that's worse than a brick, because it's got force. It's the perfect size. It's like made perfect. And when they get caught, they say, no, this is just soup for my family. And then the media says, this is just soup. These people are very, very innocent. They're innocent people. Isn't it wonderful to allow protesting? No. Isn't it wonderful to allow protesting? Allow protesting. To allow protesting. Isn't it wonderful to allow protesting? No. no. Isn't it wonderful to allow protesting? No.
Dumb people, liberal people. Antifa exists.
Look, talk about education. School, not daycare. School, not daycare. School. Help. They don't know quite what to do. Play the radio. Make sure the television, make sure you have the record player on at night. The phone. Make sure the kids hear words.
They're not accountable to anyone. I get 10 to 12 million views a month, and they won't come out and address my progressive audience.
What are you talking about with that, Jimmy?
I'm talking about anybody who's a progressive in Congress who isn't endorsing hashtag the vote. All those motherfuckers who didn't show up today at our town hall.
You know, the truth of the matter is that when you look at some of my policies, in a lot of ways, Richard Nixon was more liberal than I was.
But I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
Only the really, I hate to say this, but those with the lowest IQ.
And he's like this, and we were, I need water, help me, I need water, help. And he said, this is on live television.
All of a sudden we can't talk about Neanderthal DNA. As far as my relationships with all people, I think I have great relationships with all people. I am the least racist person in this room.
I'm about to be 34 and I have no family.
In my opinion, it's never too late. So, little double sound deck. So that's the story, fellas.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another. I know I'm doing it again, right? It's like I just can't stop. But hello, everyone, and welcome to another episodic installation of Above It All. So, I got some stuff to talk about. I'm going to be talking about some stuff, and right after I talk about some stuff, I'm going to talk about some more stuff. So I got lots of stuff lined up, and so we're going to get to some stuff. We're going to get to some things. We're going to put some stuff in our things, and we're going to put some things in our stuff, and that's what's going to happen here. So I'd like to say thank you to everyone for showing up. I know I've got an influx of a lot of new people here. I think I gained like somewhere around 100 to 150 subscriptions in the last 12 or maybe 16 hours. So I'd like to say thank you for showing up. I appreciate you all. Yesterday I did 2 shows. Today I'm also going to do 2 shows. I don't know when the second show is going to be. Actually, just kidding. I think I do. In fact, I'm going to post it on the top here. Let's see. Let's do this. Bada boom. There you go. See. Boom. There it is at the top. Double dip show at 3 p.m. That sounds good. I'll do that. Yeah. So again, I've been doing a lot of coverage of the results of this Capitol terror attack or coup attempt, whichever you want to refer to it as. So as a result, there's just a lot to talk about. So I'm going to be doing multiple shows a day until I kind of get through the sludge, as it were, because I want the people that are in my audience to know as much as possible about what is going on here. So that's kind of the idea. I want to educate this audience because I think 2021 is going to be the year of fascist takeover in this country. I think once Biden becomes president, this is going to get a lot worse. That's my prediction. That if they manage to breach the Capitol building, and if they manage to be 30 seconds too late in taking Nancy Pelosi hostage, they are going to continue trying, and they are going to be more and more violent with their actions, especially once Biden is inaugurated, as well as when Biden is being inaugurated, like the day of. As of this moment, I can tell you that I have seen a lot of reports that fascists are planning on planning another Capitol breach on the weekend before the inauguration, which I believe is the 16th and 17th, and then also the 19th and 20th, which is the day and the day before of the inauguration. So I may also do live coverage those days. We'll see. It really just depends on, like, if there's streams I can watch and if there's info that's coming out regularly. But we'll see if I do some live streams throughout that. But wow, not good. Not good. So yeah, I'd like to say hello to everyone. Let me read out all the usernames like I normally do. But is it art? Mud Joseph, also known as Joseph of the Mud. 2, of course. Just like, we have Barack Hussein Obama 2, Joseph Robinette Biden 2, and then you have Joseph of the Mud 2. We got all these 2s in the chat. Hello, Nicholas Nordland. Hello, Esports Nation. Hello, Entertained. Hello, Felix Cornelius. Hello, Fun Police with the $1.99 super chat. The money that I don't deserve, but I will definitely take anyway. Hello, Aunt Tifa. Hello, JL. Cloud. Yo Deller Yodels. Welcome. Hello, Bethany Rhodes. Hello, Don. Hello, and that Dusty Scarlet. Rachel Atwood. Yeah, when fucking Trump was like, Barack Hussein Obama at the fucking speech, that really riled him up. God, this is incredible to watch. I still want to pull some audio clips from that speech, but, I don't know. Hello, Lucas. Your pointy. Thank you. Hello, Karen. Hopefully you are a good Karen in this instance. Who is Donald Trump? I tried looking him up on Twitter, but couldn't find him. That's actually a great start to my first segment of the day. All right, so everyone, Donald Trump did not have a good day on Twitter yesterday, and I want to showcase this for the world to watch. So Donald Trump had his Twitter account suspended, and I did a live stream when it happened. And literally, I shit you not, as soon as my live stream ended, I read the news that Twitter made an announcement regarding the POTUS account. Because, again, obviously, Trump has access to the POTUS account. So Twitter says it won't suspend POTUS/White House, but it will take action to limit their use. However, these accounts will be transitioned over to the new administration in due course and will not be suspended by Twitter unless absolutely necessary to alleviate real-world harm. So the idea was, as long as Donald Trump didn't try to ban evade, and as long as Donald Trump didn't try to get out very bizarre messages on this alternate account, then everything's good. So when I read this news, this was posted at some point, I think, during my stream, right? And so I saw this right after the stream ended, and then I clicked on the POTUS account, because, it's a link here, it's a highlighted link, and I clicked on the POTUS account, and the first thing I see is this. I shit you not, this is my screenshot, right? So literally, I click on the POTUS account within 30 seconds of Donald Trump posting this, whatever this is. And then it was literally deleted within seconds, like literally within seconds. So I may have gotten one of the only the screenshots of this one. So I just want to say that I'm cool, I'm rad, and I'm what rad people do. So anyway, this is what Donald Trump tried to ban evade and say on his POTUS account. As I have been saying for a long time, Twitter has gone further and further in banning free speech. And tonight, Twitter employees have coordinated with the Democrats and the radical left in removing my account from their platform to silence me. And you, the 75 million great patriots who voted for me. Twitter may be a private company, but without the government's gift of Section 230, they would not exist for long. I predicted this would happen. We have been negotiating with various other sites, and we will have a big announcement soon. While also look at the possibilities of building out our own platform in the near future. We will not be silenced. Twitter is not about free speech. They are about promoting a radical left platform where some of the most vicious people in the world are allowed to speak freely. Stay tuned. Right? Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? Can you listen to that? So again, I wanted to talk about this not because it's just really funny. It is really funny. But because this is the first resurgence of unhinged Trump since the Capitol attack. So, do you remember when during the Capitol riot where they breached the Capitol, Donald Trump was like, if only Mike Pence were to listen. Mike Pence, if only he did the right thing, right? Literally, as the Capitol riots were going on, it's reported that he watched the Capitol riots and was excited the entire time and was excited when they breached the Capitol. And so, then, all of a sudden, he posts this really bizarre video saying that there's going to be a peaceful transition of power and that he lost the election. Right? A lot of his followers were posting on Parler, 4chan, and all those sites saying that they think Donald Trump is doing that because he has to in order to stay out of jail. And so now, again, this is the first resurgence of unhinged Trump since the Capitol attack. He's been laying low. He's only been doing a few videos, and then he posted this thing that that led to the suspension of his main account. That was like really like kind of on the line of unhinged and hinged, right? He was very much so walking the line, and in that he said he would not attend the inauguration. And it turns out the Parler and 4chan Trump nerds took that as like, okay, Trump's not going to be there. Let's go fuck shit up. So as a result, Twitter banned the account. And then again, this guy tweets on POTUS, and he's back to fully unhinged mode. He's no longer walking the line. And so it is of extreme importance for me to let you know that, again, this guy went from walking the line to back to unhinged mode. And so over the course of the evening, he apparently tried to access 9 other accounts, and Twitter seemingly banned them almost all instantly. And so we've got a little website here that lists all the accounts, and I think it's really funny. So let's load this up. It's currently loading. So Donald J. Trump, destroyed, right? Just absolutely fucking destroyed. And then Gary Kobe, whom I'm not sure who that is, but Gary Kobe gave Trump the username and password, and then boom. Lynn Wood tried to give Trump a username and password. Boom. Michael Flynn tried to give Trump a username and password. Boom. And then, of course, POTUS, where I just showed you those tweets. Ron Watkins, I don't even know who that is, but they're banned now because they tried to give Trump the username and password. And then Sidney Powell, of course, and then Team Trump, of course. And so this is the thing. This is the thing. Again, Trump is back into unhinged mode. And then look at who gave Trump access to their accounts. This is the thing you need to know. It's Gary Kobe, Lynn Wood. Lynn Wood, by the way, on January 6th, literally called for the execution of the vice president. When Donald Trump tweeted out, as his minions were storming and breaching the Capitol building, when Donald Trump tweeted out, if only Michael did the right thing, Lynn Wood was posting on Parler that we need to execute the vice president. And after that, he's not in jail. Lynn Wood is not in jail. He is coordinating with the President of the United States. And then also Michael Flynn, someone who was pardoned and believes in the QAnon shit, coordinating with the President of the United States. Ron Watkins, I don't know who they are. But Sidney Powell, again, the crazy, dumb fuck lawyer that Donald Trump tried to ride out at the last few weeks before all this mess. Again, look at the people he's coordinating with. It's not Ted Cruz who's offering up his account. It's not Josh Hawley who's offering up his account. It's Lynn Wood. It's Sidney Powell. It's Michael Flynn. And you need to look at this stuff. This is important. I know. It's Twitter, LMAO, right? But again, not good, folks. Not good.
Not good. Believe me, not good.
Whew. Fun Police, bringing it in, $4.99. Good morning, Andrea, the most underrated pothead comedian on the YouTubes. Yes, I'm already drinking. That's fine. As long as you tell me what the occasion is, that's good for me. Thank you, JL, $5. Those who lend Trump their accounts are conspirators to the coup. Lock them up. Agreed. And again, again, it's not Ted Cruz, right? So I'm just saying. Google has pulled Parler from the App Store for not taking stronger actions to remove posts that seek to incite ongoing violence. Interesting. So again, this whole situation is very, very, very bizarre. It's very funny. And you have to, like, this is the thing that I try. This is the line that I try to walk. Is we have to be able to speak about these things with the seriousness that they deserve and require. And we also have to be able to laugh. Because, again, Donald Trump is fucking funny. Like, and I've got Exhibit A.
Early in the morning, they went to the table with the black robe, the black shield, and they pulled out the votes.
Like, that's hilarious. You cannot tell me that that's not funny. Like, I have literally listened to that clip, like, 30 times, and it's hilarious every single time. So you can't tell me Trump isn't funny. And if you try to tell me Trump isn't funny, well, I understand why you have that opinion. I just disagree with it. But either way, God, anyway. Okay, so I've got some other stuff that I want to talk about here, and we're going to get into that. But again, thank you all for joining me this morning. I will be doing a second stream at around 3. Maybe I should do 4. Should I do 4? I'll do 4. I'll do 3:30. I'll do 3:45. Let's do 3:45. I don't want to step on anyone's toes. Let's do 3:45. There you go. Tough what 8 years of genuinely hilarious tweets are gone. That's my thing too. I think they should restore the account and just make it an archive, personally. Rachel Atwood, evening. It's not evening. I don't care where you are. If you live in a place where it's evening, you need to move ASAP because you live in a fake country. The Coca-Cola company is not happy with me. That's okay. I'll still keep drinking that garbage. My God. Alright, so I have yet to read this article. I wanted to read this on stream. And so, Democrats ready impeachment charge against Trump for inciting Capitol mob. This is an article from the New York Times. And it's got some very interesting information in it that I wanted to go through. And so that's kind of what I'm going to go through here. And so as I do that, let me Control F a certain word. Here we go. So this is the part that I wanted to read. So, I want him out, she said. He has caused enough damage. That's what Nancy Pelosi says. At the White House, Mr. Trump struck a defiant tone, insisting that he would remain a potent force in American politics as aides and allies abandoned him, and his post-presidential prospects turned increasingly bleak. Behind closed doors, he made clear that he would not resign and expressed regret about releasing a video on Thursday committing to a peaceful transition of power and condemning the violence at the Capitol that he had egged on a day before. So again, what did I tell you about the Twitter thing? Right, he was trying to toe the line. He uploaded this really weird video that was like, you know, conceding the election and condemning the heinous attack on the Capitol. It's like, what? What? Right? And then, as soon as he gets banned from Twitter, he goes back into unhinged whack-a-mole mode. Right? The guy was lying. The guy has lied every single step of the way. You think the guy's just going to post, oh, whoops, sorry guys, I didn't mean it, and then at the end of the day, he's just going to turn into a good guy? No. This guy is trying to lower our guard. Again, let me tell you, the people that follow Donald Trump right now are planning an attack next week and the week after. Right? They've been talking about it openly on Parler before Parler was banned. Right? And they're going to continue talking about it. And we need to prepare for this. And by we, I mean as a country. Not just like, you know, the people that watch my fucking YouTube show. But you should also prepare for it. Who knows what's going to happen? There is no idea. Again, the Capitol has not been breached since 1814. The Capitol has not been breached since 1814. It's been 207 years since the Capitol has been breached. Right? We are in an unprecedented moment in American history. We have legions of far-right domestic terrorists, right? Again, Kyle Rittenhouse spent his first stimulus package on the gun that he used to murder protesters. And I read that one of the reasons why Trump wants $2,000 checks might be because he wants to give a lot of his fans and a lot of his militant terrorist supporters a lot more money to buy a lot more weaponry with. That is something that can definitely, for me, be a reason as to why he's supporting $2,000 checks. That and political capital that he wants to gain. So again, this is like a really bad situation. We're in a really bad situation. We're in a really, really bad situation. But I do want to go into what Nancy Pelosi said a little bit more. If the president does not leave office imminently, those are similar words, I'm sorry. If the president does not leave office imminently and willingly, the Congress will proceed with our action, Ms. Pelosi wrote in a letter to colleagues. The benefits of convicting this president, this criminal gangster, not only would he be sent to prison, but also he couldn't be pardoned and he couldn't run again for office. Those are the benefits for him being convicted. We need to convict this criminal president. We need to throw them in jail. And we need to do it as soon as possible. Nancy Pelosi saying, oh, we'll do it on Monday. What? No, Nancy, right now. You do it right now. In fact, get a time machine, right? Get a fucking time machine. Go back. And then as soon as the Electoral College count was finished at 3 a.m., then you start the impeachment hearings. Right then. You don't go to bed. You drink a cup of coffee and you impeach the motherfucker. That's what you should have done. Nancy, oh, yeah, he just incited a terror attack on the Capitol, but we'll impeach him next week. What? What? I'm sorry, but we need to hold these people accountable. They all need to be sent to prison. Every single one of them. Every Republican House member and senator that objected to the election results and lied to the American people, they need to be thrown in prison. Not tomorrow, not yesterday, but on January 6th, they need to be thrown in prison. Anything later than or less than is an insult to the American people. You've got Black Lives Matter protesters currently serving 30 years in prison for breaking a window. Meanwhile, you're only going to give these freaks of nature a year in jail, and I'm going to get into an article in a second here. It's unbelievable. It's disgusting. And you're going to let people like Josh Hawley get away with sedition and treason? What? We expelled members of Congress after the Civil War. Or during the Civil War. Why? Because they committed sedition and treason. Why can't we do the same here? It's because this generation of Democrats, or at least Democratic leaders, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, they're pussies. That's why. Impeach this motherfucker at January 7th at 3:30 a.m. Anything later than that is an insult, in my opinion. There you go. That's my opinion, man. I'm allowed to have opinions. I'm allowed. But how's everyone doing today? Hopefully everyone is happy. Hopefully everyone is having a good time. I mean, you know, again, you have to be able to look at some of these things with the a fun factor, because otherwise we're just going to be depressed all day. Right? And I don't want to be depressed all day. I don't want to be depressed all day. I don't want to be depressed for the rest of my life. Right? You know? So, just throwing that out there. Yo, I can't wait till we get that extra $1,400. I am going to buy $1,400 worth of PS1 games. Let me just tell you. Let me just tell you. I can't wait. But yeah, so let's keep going. Woo!
Not good. Believe me, not good.
No good, really bad for you. No good. No good.
All right, what else do I got here? I've got some other stuff. Here we go. I've got some other stuff. You might be thinking, what kind of stuff could I possibly have? Right? Well, first of all, I have coffee ground in my mouth. You see that? Check this out. Look at that. You see that? A coffee ground in my mouth. Not good. I hate when that happens. But outside of that, I've got another article that I'm going to talk about. So let's pop it up. And so we got a plant-based Picks at Dunkin'. As someone that hails from New Jersey, this is a very interesting advertisement, or as some people would say, advertisement. But, you know, that's neither here nor there. Let's get into the actual news here. A man who allegedly broke into Pelosi's office charged with 3 federal counts. Right. Okay. Hold on. Hold on. So, again, there are currently Black Lives Matter protesters that are serving 45 years for flipping over a cop car. There are Black Lives Matter protesters that are serving life in prison for throwing paint at a building. There are Black Lives Matter protesters that are serving 20 years in prison, right, for being in the wrong place at the wrong time and getting their shit kicked in by cops, and then the cops just lying about, oh, they attacked me, right? There are Black Lives Matter protesters that are going to lose 10 years of their lives because they were just sitting or standing next to a statue that was destroyed. You need to understand that. You need to understand the parity, or rather the disparity, right? You know, those are, I just realized that those are opposite words, but, yeah, the guy's from Arkansas, right? Guys from Arkansas. Not, like, oh, that's the thing is, like, oh, I thought these were poor people, Jimmy Dore says. Oh, would these people be storming the Capitol if they had an extra $600? Well, they're flying to D.C. from all across the country. I don't think they need an extra $600, Jimmy Dore, you fucking moron. But, so again, guess how many years in prison this person's going to get. If you don't know. Let me scroll down. Richard Barnett, the man who allegedly broke into House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's office, posed for pictures, and stole mail from her desk, was arrested Friday morning in Little Rock, Arkansas, and has been charged with 3 federal counts. Barnett allegedly entered the restricted office area and took photographs with his feet propped up on the furniture, according to a criminal complaint filed in the U.S. District Court in Washington, D.C. Barnett, who goes by the name Big O, was captured in news media photographs and took an envelope off of Pelosi's desk addressed to Rep. Billy Long, R. Missouri, the complaint says. Saul Leob, a staff photographer at Agence France Presse, I don't know, was the one who snapped the now infamous photograph of Barnett behind the desk in Pelosi's office. Barnett was sitting at her, at a staff member's desk in her office with his feet up, just making himself at home. You know, just like just sort of like he owned the place, Leob told ABC News. Here you have Nancy Pelosi, one of the highest members in the U.S. government, in this theoretically highly secure location, in this highly secure building, and these people are just basically doing whatever they want and looking at whatever they want. Barnett was charged with entering a restricted building, violent entry, and disorderly conduct on Capitol grounds, and stealing public property. The shocking images of Mr. Barnett with his boots up on the desk in the Speaker of the House's office on Wednesday was repulsive, said Jeffrey Rosen, acting Attorney General of the United States. So, how many years do you think this guy got? You want to know? You want to know? You want to know? I'm going to keep going down. I think they showed at one point. He got 1 year. Just letting you know that right now. He got 1 year. That's it. He just got one. Just one. Just one. What are you going to do? 1 year in jail. Breaking into the Capitol. Stealing classified information. 1 year. What are you going to do? I could read the rest of the article, but, you know, you got the point. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And, in the words of our president...
No good. No good.
God, this world sucks. For those of you that are interested in my PayPal, I would like to point you, right, to this scrolling bit of text I'm not trying to be rude. I'm really not. I'm just doing like my cartoon person thing. Check out this scrolling bit of text. There's some scrolling there. And contained in this scrolling bit of text, you've got the link to my Patreon account and the link to my PayPal. Just throwing it out there. It was a retweet. It's the opinion of somebody. People can decide for themselves.
That was an opinion of somebody, and that was a retweet. I'll put it out there. People can decide for themselves. I don't take a position.
But yeah, it's paypal.me/Andrea the doggy. I appreciate all of you. Just, letting you know. $4.99, Fun Police. Will you give Max a morning pet and rub for me? He's such a good boy. Where is Max? Max, look at this dog. Look at this dog. Like, have you seen this dog? Look. Maxie! Max! He's tired out. I usually play with him in the morning, so that's why he's always tired. Max, you want to roll over? You want to get a belly rub? Look at this dog. Look. Paws up. There's Max, though. What are the chances he'll even be there for 365 days? I think 0% chance that he'll be there for 365 days. We don't know what any of them will ultimately be charged with or how much time they'll potentially serve. We'll see, though, Don. I mean, we'll see. It's possible they get extended, but they're reporting that he's being charged with things that have a maximum sentence of 1 year. So if I understand that correctly, I guess it could be 3 years because there's 3 counts. But I'm not sure. But that's what I read. So just saying. But if you know more about me and if I said something incorrectly, then, feel free to correct me because I don't want to deliver fake news. You know what I mean? Max definitely adopted me. That's absolutely correct. Those who lend Trump their accounts are conspirators to this coup. Lock them up. I don't know if I read that before, but I think I did. Either way, I read it again. JL, there you go. All right, Don, well, keep me posted if you see anything new. Keep me posted, okay? I would very much so appreciate that, because if he does get the charges expanded, then that's, as far as I'm concerned, that's good news. So this is something that I found problematic. You ready for this? You ready? Like, I know you're not. Like, you think you're ready? Let me just tell you. You think you're ready, but you're not ready for what I'm about to put on screen. You ready? You think you're ready? Oh, you think you're ready? And so I'll take your word for it. Let's watch. So, poll, 18% of Republicans support Capitol riots. Do you remember yesterday, actually, me talking about this? The number that's always consistent is going to be about 20% of people. And this is not just Republicans, right? So this is 18% of Republicans, and I want to be very clear why it's only 18% of Republicans, which is only in reality like 8 or 9%. 20-ish% of North Americans are authoritarians, and they will support authoritarians. 75 million people voted for Donald Trump. 75 million is about 25% of the population of the United States. Okay? Now you might be wondering, how come only about 10% of the population endorse the riots if 20 to 25% of them are authoritarians? My response to that is you have to understand a lot of people right now, especially now that the technical war has begun. Like, if you want, you can say that we are now in a civil war, right? This is what this is. No ifs, no ands, no buts. This is a civil war, right? So if you are a militia member who has like an like a lot of these people are ex-military, and I'm going to get into that. A lot of these people are ex-military. So if you're ex-military, or if you are connected to these militias, you know basic operational security. And basic operational security is not telling pollsters that you endorse terror attacks. So that's why I think the poll response is so low. I've seen other polls that suggest that around 40 to 50% of Republicans support the riots. But again, these questions are worded differently. So like, so we'll see. But again, I'm just giving you this information. So let's read. Approximately 18% of Republicans support the pro-Trump rioters who stormed the Capitol on Wednesday in opposition to Congress's certification of President-elect Joe Biden's win, according to a PBS NewsHour/Marist poll released Friday. The survey, which polled more than 800 adults the day after the riots, also found that despite some support among GOP members, most Americans, approximately 88%, interesting number, by the way, either opposed or strongly opposed the mob's actions. Additionally, those surveyed were divided in their opinion on the level of President Trump's responsibility in the riots, with 63% of those surveyed saying Trump deserves a great deal or good amount of the blame for Wednesday's events. Among Republicans, 69% believe Trump is at little or no fault. And that's another very important, again, that's a number you need to look at. What's 70% of 25%? My math's not the greatest, but that's like what, 20%? And that brings us back to this number, the magical number, right? 80% of Americans support Medicare for all. Who are the other 20%, right? There's always these numbers. It's always like the ceiling, in my estimation, the ceiling for any like good thing, the ceiling is going to be around 85%, I think, support. Look at $2,000 monthly stimulus checks were recently polled. I think it was like 85 or so. It was around 85, I think. Maybe it was like 88 or something % supported of Americans supported $2,000 monthly stimulus. So again, I want you to keep these numbers. These are important things. When you read polls, you need to know these kinds of things. This is a very important way of how you parse this data, in my opinion. Trump encouraged his supporters at the rally earlier in the day to march to the Capitol and challenge Congress's vote, repeating his disputed claims that the election was stolen from him. Among those included in Friday's poll, 48% joined calls from some lawmakers for the president to be removed from office, while 49% opposed such a move. The idea that half of people don't want to remove a sitting president for inciting a riot at the Capitol, I think is disgusting. Among independents, about 51% believe Trump should remain in office, with less than 2 weeks to go until Biden's inauguration. Those people, scumbags. They're all scumbags. Now, again, this poll only polled 800 people, so take everything with a grain of salt. But again, the ceiling, or rather, I guess the numbers to look forward to are like 20 to 25%. Anything more than that, you can whittle away at. Like, for example, so if 51%, well, this is just independents, but let's say 40-something% of people don't think Trump should be removed, you can whittle away about half of those people, in my estimation. So I'm just throwing that out there. That's not to say you should try, have someone else do it, right? Like, Jesus Christ, that's a waste of my time, but I'm just saying, that's my estimation. Despite this division, a substantial majority, 90%, believe the perpetrators of the riot, which saw participants breaking through windows at the Capitol and ransacking offices, should be prosecuted for their actions. There you go. Anyway, you can read the rest of this poll if you'd like, and I will post the link in the description when I upload the video version of this. But again, this is very, very bad. The Republican Party is a terrorist organization, and the longer we wait to declare it as one, the worse that it's going to get. This is a civil war. If you don't understand that by now, then I don't know what to tell you. Like, look at these right-wing YouTubers, Tim Pool, going out there every single day. Civil war, civil war, civil war, civil war. Amping up right-wingers to think that black people are running through the streets and killing white people ad nauseum. Right. You always see these people say, Black Lives Matter has murdered 50 people at riots. When that's just not true. Those numbers are fake. They just made them up. Right. And if someone did die at a protest, that doesn't mean Black Lives Matter killed them. Again, right? So there's these bizarre conspiracy theories that are just really prevalent in right-wing media, right? And these people have been amped since at least May. These people have been amped, right? And I'd say they've been amped for years. But over the last couple of months, Donald Trump has been saying January 6th is the big day. And they prepped. They knew it was the big day. To them, the big day meant this is the day we've breached the fucking Capitol. That's what they thought. So I want you to understand that we, like, whether or not we treat this as a civil war is irrelevant, because they are. They are fully brainwashed into thinking that Black Lives Matter is killing patriots all across the world, or the country, I should say. Maybe the world. I don't know. These people are crazy. And as such, that is a kind of justification for their actions. They think Joe Biden is like a communist who's going to, I don't know, destroy America. And I don't know, it's just weird. Again, these things that they believe are really bizarre. And you really need to understand where these people are coming from. The Republican Party has embraced and has enabled fascism at least for the last 4 years, if you want to be charitable. But I would say ever since they stole the election in 2000, I think that was kind of the very much so the downward spiral. And then you have 9/11, which caused such a disaster when it comes to legislation, and just changed this country forever, right? But you can also go back to Ronald Reagan, right? Who, when Ronald Reagan was elected, right, he ran as a segregationist. He was mocking the idea of civil rights legislation. And around the 80s and 90s is when white supremacists started trying to get hired at police agencies. Again, in the early 2000s, the FBI released a memo saying that law enforcement has been infiltrated by white supremacists. They've known about this for 15 years, at least. They've known? Probably longer. 25, I would reckon. So, that's why they breached the Capitol. The cops are fascists. The Republicans are fascists. The protesters are just cover for the fascists. Why do you think people went in there with precision and zip ties and guns and Molotovs and pipe bombs? Because they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing, and they're going to keep doing it, and they're going to keep doing it. And so I want you to know this, because this is some very scary stuff. Like, I don't know. Anyway. That's, not good. Let me to put it lightly. To put it lightly.
No good. No good.
It's not good. Hello, Yodeler Yodels. Hello, Eric D. Eric D, just because you're dumb enough to still be a Republican after January 6th doesn't mean that we are dumb enough to buy your bullshit. I'm sorry, but if you are a self-identified Republican after January 6th, you are either, there's two options. One, you are a terrorist, or two, you are the dumbest motherfucker in the history of the dumbest motherfuckers. Those are the only two options. Terrorist, dumbest motherfucker in the history of dumbest motherfuckers. Pick one. Billiard Dilliard. The Dilliards are not sending their best. Hey, Divided We Fall, by the way. Hello, Roadkill. Kibble. Spats Cannon is changing up their username a little bit. Interesting. Mixing it up. Hello, Kalida. Spirit Mayo, emphasis on Mayo. Fucking freak. I'm just sorry. Carla, hello. And thank you for the interest in the PayPal, by the way. I appreciate that. Really, just trying my best here. Luther. Is that everyone? Did I miss someone? If I missed you. Bodan. Hello, Bodan. If I missed someone, please let me know. Hook. There you go. What is Bodan's question? I'm scrolling. Oh, no. I'm not ignoring you. I'm so sorry. I'm scrolling. I'm still scrolling. How am I doing today? Is that the question? How am I doing today? Because if so, I'm pretty good. Am I happy with Pelosi? No. Absolutely not. The black robe and the black shield. And then they pulled out the votes.
Early in the morning, they went to the table with the black robe, the black shield, and they pulled out the votes. Those votes were put...
I was on Const's show. She had me on, I think, the week of Christmas or the week before Christmas. And then yesterday she played one of my clips. Instead of bringing me on, she decided to steal my content and, like, let's be honest here. And I, you know, this is a very serious segment and I want to be very clear here. This is, again, this is very, 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 very serious. So I made a video that the Nomiki show decided to steal authoritarian and profit off of, and in fact, you know what? I'm gonna make this a segment. I'm gonna make this a video as well. Let me get what I need here. So yeah, there's some drama going on. Let me see. So Nomiki made a video stealing my copyrighted material. As you can see, this video, let me look. I'm gonna scroll through. It has me somewhere. As you can see, so they steal my content. Right, now look at the view count here. Almost 6,000 views. Right? 6,000 views when she steals my content. The original video, 600 views. Right? So there's some very interesting stuff going on with the Nomiki Const show. I don't know what's happening there. And I think we need to appoint a special prosecutor to figure this out. Because, again, this is not good. You know, in the words of our president,
no good. No good.
It's just not good. So I just really wanted to point that out there. And again, when Nomiki was doing her live show, she was getting super chats, right? She was monetizing my content. Unbelievable, right? Like, unbelievable. So we're going to see how this develops. This is a very serious situation. I have already contacted my lawyer. So you know, I will be updating you as we move on. But again, this is some very interesting information here. Yeah, I'm just joking, of course. I guess I need to say that. I'm sorry, but yeah, I'm just joking. But what I'm not joking about is her stealing my content. That is literally what she did. Like, look. Like, is this on my channel? No, this is on the Nomiki channel. What's going on there? Right? It really makes you think. I'm sorry. My lord.
And where it should have stopped is at the deal standpoint, when they thought about it.
Not good. I figured out that you were joking. Well, I mean, a lot of people are new here. So, I mean, I have to be explicit. Mark, you have a question. Mark the Hat. What is your question? Trial by guns. Oh my god. Fucking Rudy, dude. Alright, let's move on. Let's see, what do we got here? Alright, speaking of the content that, Nomiki highlighted, that I produced, I want to... This is literally what I'm talking about. This is what for the last month or so, there have been these very interesting red-brown alliances between people that claim to be left media, like Jimmy Dore and Brianna Joy Gray, and then right-wing fascist sympathizers like Fiorella Isabel and Nico House. The Force the Vote rally that they planned on January 4th was organized in part by Nico House and Fiorella Isabel. Now, this person is the host of a show called The Convo Couch. And so, again, this is a red-brown alliance. This person is not a leftist. This person is not a communist. They're not a socialist. They're not a progressive. They're not an anti-establishment individual. They're not whatever word you want to use. This person, the most charitable take is they are a fascist sympathizer or useful idiot. That is the most charitable take. If I'm being as gracious as humanly possible, that's what I would say. Now, my opinion, and this is purely my opinion, this is speculation. This is not libel. I am not declaring anything. In my opinion, I think the Convo Couch and these people are being funded, or at least, right now, there is two possibilities here. Either one, they are being funded with the express purpose of sowing dissent and division in left media, or they are dumb enough to be getting funding from these people in ways that they don't understand in the form of Patreon, YouTube super chats, all that kind of stuff. And they just think, oh, if I just keep saying the same thing over and over again, I'll get more and more money, right? Because it creates a feedback loop, right? So I want you to understand how funding in podcasting works, right? If I got 38 super chats saying hashtag force the vote, fuck AOC, and I'm Jimmy Dore, I'm going to keep saying hashtag force the vote, fuck AOC. If I work at the Convo Couch, and as soon as I start talking about how, you know, the Capitol terror attack was good, and I start getting, you know, $500 in Patreons, right? If that starts happening, I'm going to continue talking. Like, you know, that's the thing, is people don't understand the feedback loop. So it's totally possible that these people are dumb enough to not be in on it. And if that's the case, I mean, Jesus Christ. But it's also very possible that they aren't dumb enough. Now, I think Jimmy Dore is probably dumb enough, but I'm not sure about this Fiorella Isabel person. So, again, left-wingers have been getting banned on social media for years. Literally. I'm not even joking. Right? I know over the course of my 10 years on social media, I have met, spoken to, and know of at least 5,000 instances, right, of left-wing people getting accounts banned, right? I get YouTube strikes all the time for criticizing Donald Trump, right? So these people, and Glenn Greenwald hopped on this, and I might do a whole specific segment on him tomorrow or later today. But there's a lot of these people, red, brown, so-called leftists, that are endorsing the Capitol terror attack and then crying about free speech and censorship right now. So I want to read this to you. Thank you to all the shit libs, hashtag fraud squad, progressives, and the boutique left for bringing in the prequel to V for Vendetta. Again, the prequel to V for Vendetta is not transgender activists getting accounts banned because they asked TERFs not to give them death threats, which has happened. I know people that got into flame wars with transphobic TERFs, which stands for trans exclusionary radical feminists, who say that trans people should be banned from bathrooms because they're evil men in dresses. They don't get banned. But when a trans person says, you are disgusting, they will get banned. That's not the prequel to V for Vendetta. That's fine. Censoring transgender people, great. In fact, we should do it more, in Fiorella's opinion. But as soon as the president gets banned, all of a sudden, V for Vendetta. What? V for Vendetta. Did she ever... This is like the 1984 thing, right? I've seen V for Vendetta. I watched it recently. In fact, I did a movie review. If you want to go watch my movie review of V for Vendetta, check it out. Just search it on my channel. V for Vendetta is about a government that cracks down on free speech and free assembly and stuff. Twitter banning the president is that's not even remotely relevant. I'm sorry. So, the marriage between the security state and big tech is complete. What? The security state and big tech, those are words. Those words have no meaning. And again, these are just words that are trying to scare you into thinking, oh, this person knows what they're talking about. The fascism you said you wanted to fight is winning. What? So, okay. the President of the United States inciting a riot at the Capitol and giving cover for terrorists that tried to kill House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, that's not fascism. In fact, those are just regular people protesting their government. That's what Fiorello said. I covered that in my video the other day. Those are just protesters, right? Those are just beautiful people. Isn't it wonderful to allow protesting? That's what they say, right? So when Donald Trump has his Twitter account revoked for trying to incite a civil war, then all of a sudden that's fascism. So fascism isn't when right-wing terrorists try to storm the Capitol and kill politicians. That's not fascism. That's something else. Fascism is when a social media company exercises its First Amendment protections to get rid of someone on their platform that they have every right to do. They're a private company. They have every right to do so. They've been banning transgender people, gay people. They've been banning Black Lives Matter activists for years. These people never batted an eye. They didn't give a shit. Now all of a sudden Donald Trump is banned. The playing field is slightly more leveled. Slightly. It's not leveled at all, but it's slightly more leveled. And all of a sudden fascism is here. Fascism is winning? What? But again, this person is either, again, they're being funded by right-wingers or they're dumb enough to just buy their bullshit and continue parroting the talking points, right? They occupy left media space and they want to convince people that are in left media space that, no, fascism isn't Donald Trump. Donald Trump's not a fascist. That's an overreaction. Fascism is when Twitter censors Donald Trump. Twitter is the fascist. What? Doesn't make any sense. But let's let's just look at this person's Twitter feed. Somehow they haven't blocked me yet. A lot of these people have blocked me. Somehow they haven't. But we'll see if I can get that. Yeah. So this person says, I love that people have zero qualms about their leaders constantly dropping bombs on people. Can't stop pro-clutching about how a crew of Duck Dynasty looking fucks going to the Capitol and taking selfies is a terrorist attack, so police and censorship are now their friends. Look at this shit. Like, this is not a leftist. This is a fascist. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. This is fascism. Claiming that people with zip ties and guns and Molotov cocktails and pipe bombs are just Duck Dynasty looking fucks. Yeah, sure, they had pipe bombs and planted those pipe bombs at the official Democrat and official Republican offices. But they're just Duck Dynasty looking fucks. This isn't like, again, this is 22 hours ago. So this is not January 6th at like 2:12 p.m. as soon as they breach the Capitol and we don't know what's going on yet. This is several days after all of the information is public. This person does not want you to know the extent of the Capitol coup attempt. They don't want you to know. And in their desire to limit your knowledge and your exposure to the truth, they are trying to discredit other people in the process. They are trying to say if someone else says that it's a terror attack, they're bad, they're dumb, and you shouldn't listen to them. They're trying to divide you, and they're trying to usurp your watch time. Again, if you are subscribed to 30 YouTube accounts, you're going to watch Convo Couch a little less. If you're subscribed to 5 YouTube accounts, you're going to watch Convo Couch a little more. And that's what the goal here is. This is not a leftist. This is not a socialist. This is not a progressive. This is a fascist who has infiltrated left media space with the intent to sow discontent, to sow division, to prevent unity, to prevent organizing, and to enable and carry water for the fascists that are trying to destroy the government. That's what this is. Calling pipe bomb and Molotov cocktail wielding, AK-47 wielding terrorists that had zip ties that were at Nancy Pelosi's office just Duck Dynasty looking fucks. Oh, they're not terrorists. They're just Duck Dynasty people. What? What planet are you fucking living on? Seriously?
Only the really, I hate to say this, but those with the lowest IQ.
Not good. They're not sending their best. So I just again, I've been kind of going after this for the last month with the force the vote thing. I first realized this grift with the force the vote thing and it's coincidental, just happens to be, all the same people that endorsed Force the Vote are the same ones endorsing the Capitol terror attack, really makes you think, right? Doesn't that just make you think? Like, isn't that just like a weird coincidence? The same ones who told you that you were a corporate sellout if you voted for Joe Biden in the general election are the same ones that told you we have to force the vote. The same ones that said that we can't ever vote for Democrats are the same ones that told you to force the vote for Democrats. The same ones that told you to force the vote are the same ones that are talking about, oh, election integrity. That's what Fiorella says. Election integrity. Oh, election integrity. And the same ones that talk about election integrity are the same ones that, oh, they're just Duck Dynasty. Oh, they were just there. Isn't it wonderful to allow protesting? These people are gross. These people are absolutely and utterly disgusting. And they need to be expelled from left media spaces. Thank you, Fun Police, for $2.99. Crystal Ball mocked people who spoke of a Trump coup. I know. When it comes to Crystal Ball and Rising, I have been very skeptical of them for a long time. I think I've made like maybe one video about them, but I was going to. I don't know. And I want to cover them more. I do think Crystal and Sagar are especially harmful to left media. And again, this is one of those situations where The Hill, funded by Republicans and Trump donors, Sagar, an outright and open and admitted fascist. Sagar literally admits to being a fascist, right? And then Crystal, who kind of just tries to meet halfway with everything. Right? That's an op. The Rising on The Hill is an op. Plain and simple. It's an op. Funded by fascists. Hosted by a fascist. In an attempt to build a progressive to fascist red-brown alliance pipeline. Plain and simple. And maybe I should go more into them. And I think I might. My problem is I don't see any of their bullshit clips. If you want to send me like things that they say, send me their shit takes. I just don't happen to see them as much. For the win all day. Honestly, I think they are stupid people, blind populists who really think they have any understanding of left-wing politics, hence they are reactionaries. I think that's, again, I think there are people like that are just dumb, right? And they just don't understand money and politics and corruption. And they just think, oh, people are giving me $1,000 super chats to say fuck AOC. Wow, I must be doing a good job, instead of, oh, people are giving me $1,000 super chats to say fuck AOC. Where is this money coming from and why are they giving it to me, right? So, yeah, no, absolutely. That's one of the things. Like, again, if you are a rich person, let's say you're Michael Bloomberg, and you're saying, I'm going to, just sprinkle $1 million into a bunch of YouTube accounts to sow discontent and division in left media, it wouldn't be that hard. Give Jimmy Dore hundreds of dollars of super chats every day to continue having him say fuck AOC. That's going to prevent AOC from building a movement. That's going to create, this it's going to suck up time in left media spaces, right? It's all an op. Again, look at who funds Rising. Look at who Rising is aligned with right now. It's all an op, which stands for Operation. They aren't necessarily fascists, just blind populist reactionaries. They're the same Green Party types that come around. Again, it's one of those things where at this point, like if this were 2015 and these people are saying the same dumb shit and like the tensions weren't as high, it's whatever. Right? It's whatever. But it's 2021. These guys just attempted to overthrow the United States government. Literally, this week, they attempted to overthrow the United States government. The time for like, oh, they're just reactionaries, oh, they're just kind of dumb, that time has passed. I'm sorry. Like, that time is over. There is a side. This is the moment. The moment was, frankly, on May 26th, frankly. Or 25th. That was the moment. But this moment is even more clear. If you are on the side of fascists in any way, I'm sorry, we have to put you on a list. I'm sorry. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. It's just my opinion, though. And you can feel free to disagree. And that's honestly completely acceptable if you do disagree. But, as long as you're listening to me and these words are at least breaking your consciousness a little bit. Bernie or bust was another red-brown. Agreed. Soccer came from the Daily Caller, started by Tucker Carlson. I know, absolutely, it's an app. It's a good versus evil thing. I hesitate to use those terminologies, and here's a good reason as to why.
The battle of righteousness versus Satan. Yes, Satan. Because these leftists are evil.
One of the most common QAnon tropes is the idea that Donald Trump is fighting evil, and that the Democrat Party is evil, and honestly half the Republican Party is evil. And that this is the moral, God-fearing Christians versus the Satanists. That's like, I don't know. Do I agree that it's good versus evil? Sure. But I don't necessarily like that terminology. Hey, Bob Carmody. What is up? Anyone else here? Hello for the win all day, by the way. I don't know if I gave you a proper hello. Hello, Abigail. There are white nationalists that are very pro-welfare state, but only for white people. Exactly. Medicare for all, except for the illegals, the aliens. They call them aliens, they say. Human beings, they call aliens. Hey, Lucas. Zorak. Brian. What is my favorite cartoon dog? My favorite cartoon dog is Rush from Mega Man. Specifically Mega Man 8. What would it take for the Senate and Congress to react to the growing domestic terror threats? I'm going to talk about that actually right now, Edward. I'm going to talk about that right now, I think. Let me find the article that I was going to talk about. Well, I swear to God, I had this. I had this open. Here we go. Okay. So I think that this is a problematic. We'll get into this. I'm gonna try to be as nuanced as possible. Again, I'd like to say thank you everyone for showing up. I'm going to be doing a second show today around 3:45 p.m. So there you go. That gives me a lot of time to prepare. And that'll be around the same length as this one. Today is Saturday, I think, right? So yeah, tomorrow, for all of those that are new here, tomorrow I do a weekly series called Sunday Run Day, where I play video games. I speedrun video games. If you're unfamiliar, that means I try to play a video game as fast as I possibly can. So every Sunday, what I do is Sunday Run Day. I try to stream for, I don't know, 5 hours or so, at least every day. Maybe I'll go longer this Sunday because I seem to have a lot more people. So you can, it's just a free-for-all Q&A. You can ask me whatever you want. You can just kind of relax and play some really fun video games and talk about dumb shit. So there you go. So tune in tomorrow for Sunday Run Day. I usually start that again around 2 or 3 p.m. So, there you go. If I come to the U.S. as a tourist, will they provide me with Medicare for All if Medicare for All is approved? That depends on what version of Medicare for All is approved. Bodan? Mr. Freak Glitcher, please. I might play Grinch tomorrow. I might. Speedrun chess against Jimmy Dore. I actually recently got a Russian chess simulator on PS1. I don't know how to play chess, but it includes a chess tutorial. So, throwing that out there. Alright, let's talk about Joseph Robinette Biden 2. So, this came out in the Wall Street Journal. This is from January 7th. Biden says rioters who stormed Capitol were domestic terrorists. And I want to read this, and then we're going to discuss what I think about this. President-elect Joe Biden characterized the mob that stormed the U.S. Capitol on Wednesday as domestic terrorists, referred to the violence as one of the darkest days in the history of our nation. Don't dare call them protesters, Mr. Biden said in remarks from Wilmington. They were riotous mob, insurrectionists, domestic terrorists. It's that basic, it's that simple. First of all, agreed. Mr. Biden blamed President Trump for inciting the violence, saying he had unleashed an all-out assault on our institutions of democracy. The same day, by the way, he said that we should turn the page and not impeach him, by the way. So Biden's sending out mixed messages. The White House didn't immediately respond, blah, blah, blah. The past 4 years, we've had a president who has made his contempt for our democracy, our Constitution, and the rule of law clear in everything he has done. The Democratic president-elect said during the remarks in which he also formally introduced his pick for Attorney General Merrick Garland. Mr. Biden says that he has plans to make the priority of passing a law against domestic terrorism. And this is where it gets a little rough. And he has been urged to create a White House post overseeing the fight against ideologically inspired violent extremists and increasing funding to combat them. Now, remember when Barack Obama was president and they were passing all these new surveillance state laws saying, oh, no, it's okay, it's Barack Obama, he's a nice liberal, he won't be abusing them. Sure, he drone striked American citizens, whatever, but no, he's Barack Obama, he's cool, man. Then all of a sudden, Donald Trump comes in, has the surveillance state apparatus, can do whatever he wants and unleash terror on the world, right? This is a horrendous idea. Should the federal government fight domestic terrorism? Sure, right? Do we need to give them unlimited funding to do so? So that the next time we have a Republican, Tom Cotton or whatever, or Josh Hawley in office, right? And the next time we have them, and then they have that additional funding and surveillance state, and then all the domestic terror apparandi, whatever. This is going to backfire on Black Lives Matter protests, anti-fascist protests. This will backfire on almost any protest. Because again, Donald Trump has been calling Antifa terrorists. They've been calling black people, not even Black Lives Matter protesters, but Trump and his supporters just call random black people terrorists. There's videos of them just walking down the sidewalk, right? And then some Trumper just fucking yells out their window like, oh, Black Lives Matter sucks. Fuck Black Lives Matter, terrorists. And it's like, what are you talking about, bro? Right? So you have to understand, the federal government should not have the ability to do this kind of stuff, right? In my opinion. Now, they should secure the Capitol, and they need to secure the Capitol, but should they be having their eyes and ears and sniffers in every citizen's personal information? No. So that's my opinion on that. Federal law defines domestic terrorism as dangerous and illegal acts intended to coerce a population or influence the government. While it can be charged in some states, no generic federal crime exists. Domestic terrorism spans extremist ideologies, but it has been predominantly a far-right phenomenon in recent decades, according to researchers. Mr. Biden said Thursday that his incoming Justice Department team would be independent. Your loyalty is not to me, he told the intended nominees. It is to the law, the Constitution, the people of this nation to guarantee justice. Judge Garland said that Wednesday's riot was a reminder that the rule of law is not just some lawyer's turn of phrase, adding, it is the very foundation of our democracy. Mr. Biden said law enforcement handled the Trump supporters who breached and vandalized the Capitol in a way that was very different from how Black Lives Matter protesters who demonstrated against racial injustices across American cities over the summer were treated. We all know that's true, he said, and it's unacceptable, totally unacceptable. And again, Biden might have good intentions, and even the 4 years of Biden, he might not use these laws and these posts to attack Black Lives Matter protests, right? I think he would, but let's give him the benefit of the doubt that he wouldn't, that he's sincere, right? Let's just give him that benefit of the doubt, playing devil's advocate. Do I trust the next guy? No, I don't, plain and simple, and that's why this shit cannot happen. But it probably will happen, so $4.99 Fun Police. My God, just dropping the dollars. Andrea, my hope is this attempted coup could be a way to finally turn DC into a state, giving the left two more progressive senators. What do you think? I agree. I think DC statehood is a mandatory thing for the next 4 years, or at least the next 2 years, right? Democrats control every chamber. DC has to become a state, plain and simple. We don't more laws or spy agencies. Those are already there, but Trump stopped them from going afterwards. Exactly, Lucas. Exactly. Puerto Rico, I think, should be, I, as a white American, have no jurisdiction over what I think that they should do. I feel like they should be allowed to be given statehood or independence, depending on their choice. I know that there is a large left movement in Puerto Rico that advocates for independence and wants nothing to do with the United States. I also know that there is a relatively large contingent of people that do want statehood. And so I think that they should have the ultimate say over that. But either one I support. Whatever the current imperial status is definitely something that needs to be changed. Hey JJW, just found your channel and I like it. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Nomiki has a great take on this. On Puerto Rico? Okay. Jeremy Christian. Biden would use this against the left just to impress his GOP buddies. No, absolutely. Absolutely, I agree. It's a bad deal. And, you know, to be honest, where it should have stopped.
And where it should have stopped is at the deal standpoint, when they thought about it.
No good. But yeah, so again, I'm going to be doing a second show today at around 3:45, I guess. And so I will put up that stream page as soon as I can. And I will edit together some of the clips and I will upload those until then. Thank you all for watching. I know I've got a lot of new people here. And again, I really appreciate everything that y'all are doing. The super chats are just wonderful. Just everything. I mean, really, it is very much so overwhelming. In a lot of ways. 3:45 Eastern time, as you can see. This is my finger. Follow my finger, all right? Like you go up here, and then boom, boom. There you go. See? There you go. So, check that out. But again, I really do appreciate. And again, if you are interested, and this is, you know, I did stream on the entirety of January 6th. I started streaming at 10 a.m. on January 6th and didn't stop until about 1 a.m. the next day. Unknown story. Trump in memoriam crowdsourcing. Okay, so Unknown Story had this idea, and I think it's a very good idea, and this idea should not be stopped at the deal standpoint. Donald Trump's Twitter account has been banned. Can we all find the funniest tweets in Donald Trump's history? You can find archives online. Right, personally, one of my favorites is, why are the mail-in ballots so devastating and destructive in their percentage and power of destruction or whatever? That's one of my favorites. But there's a lot, even before the presidency, they're really good, right? So, I think what we should do is we should gather a collection of Trump's best tweets, the greatest hits, if you will, and we should do a little bit of a memorial stream on the second show for today. And again, on the second show for today, I'm going to give you a little bit of a heads up on what I plan on talking about. Because I'm going to talk about Josh Hawley. Josh Hawley's funders are very upset with him. People are calling for the expulsion of Josh Hawley. I'm going to talk more about some of the individuals that barnstormed the Capitol. I'm going to talk about these zip tie guys. I'm going to be talking about the Capitol Police who let them in on the second show for today. I'm going to be talking about Republicans who enabled Donald Trump, like Ted Cruz and Josh Hawley. Who is Josh Hawley? The senator who objected to election results and was trying to lead the overturning or overthrowing of the United States government. I'm going to be talking more about Jamal Bowman instituted a legislation to involve a formal investigation into how the Capitol Police let the protesters in, or the rioters in. So again, I've got one of the reasons why I'm doing multiple shows a day at this point is because there's just so much information about the Capitol terror attack, and I want my audience to have as much info as possible, because not that many people are, like, a lot of people are covering the terror attack and the coup attempt. But how many of them are covering them from the anarchist, anti-fascist perspective? I'm not sure. I know there's a lot of libs talking about the Capitol situation. I know there's a lot of so-called lefties that are agreeing with the terrorism, like Jimmy Dore and Fiorella Isabel. And so I think it's important that someone of my perspective gives out this information in a way that's as easy as possible to understand. Guy in a gorilla suit. How about Derek Evans, a West Virginia legislator? I covered that yesterday. I think I uploaded the clip this morning, so you can go check that out right after the show's over. JL, thank you for continuing the fight against the bad actors in our political sphere and exposing them. I appreciate that. Thank you for the $10. And again, if y'all want me to talk more about Rising, which again I'm more than willing to do, send me some of their segments that you find absurd. And I know Crystal's got a show with Kyle Kalinske now. I don't know what they're doing on that show, but if someone wants to hate watch the show and then get clips for me, I'll delegate that. Like, you can go hate watch any show and get me dumb clips, and then I'll cover them on my show. Onion on Madison Cawthorn calling for social media socialism. Does he want to nationalize the media platforms? Because I'd rather break them up, but, you know, both of those I think are better than the current situation. But yeah, again, thank you for watching, everyone. I will be back in a couple hours. And I want to be very explicit, I really appreciate all the new people that are showing up. And if you're new here and this is the first stream you've seen, enjoy the outro experience.
Running against the worst candidate in the history of presidential politics puts pressure on me. Could you imagine if I lose my whole life? What am I going to do? I'm going to say, I lost to the worst candidate in the history of politics. I'm not going to feel so good. Maybe I'll have to leave the country. I don't know. And then they have cans of soup. And they throw the cans of soup. That's better than a brick because you can't throw a brick, it's too heavy. But a can of soup, you can really put some power into that, right? And then when they get caught, they say, no, this is soup for my family. They're so innocent. This is soup for my family. It's incredible. And you have people coming over with bags of soup, big bags of soup, and they lay it on the ground, and the anarchists take it and they start throwing it at our cops, at our police. And if it hits you, that's worse than a brick because it's got force. The perfect size, it's like made perfect. And when they get caught, they say, no, this is just soup for my family. And then the media says, this is just soup. These people are very, very innocent. They're innocent people.
Retweet. That was an opinion of somebody, and that was a retweet. I'll put it out there. People can decide for themselves. I don't take a position.
The first time I ever heard of Black Lives Matter, they were chanting, pigs in a blanket, talking about police. Pigs, talking about our police. Pigs in a blanket, fry them like bacon.
But I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
Bad deal. Should have never been thought of.
I don't know who created Pokemon Go, but I'm trying to figure out how we get them to have Pokemon go to the polls.
They're not accountable to anyone. I get 10 to 12 million views a month, and they won't come out and address my progressive audience.
Talking about with that, Jimmy?
I'm talking about anybody who's a progressive in Congress who isn't endorsing hashtag the vote. All those motherfuckers who didn't show up today at our town hall.
As far as my relationships with all people, I think I have great relationships with all people. I am the least racist person in this room. Did you use the word smart? So you said you went to Delaware State, but you forgot the name of your college. You didn't go to Delaware State. You graduated either the lowest or almost the lowest in your class. Don't ever use the word smart with me. Don't ever use that word.
Oh, give me a break.
Because you know what? There's nothing smart about you, Joe.
Look, we talk about education. School, not daycare. School. We bring social workers into homes and parents to help them deal with how to raise their children. It's not that they don't want to help. They don't know quite what to do. Play the radio. Make sure the television, make sure you have the record player on at night, the phone. Make sure the kids hear word.
All of a sudden we can't talk about Neanderthal DNA.
In case you don't know, and you haven't seen the latest polls, the American people hold the President of the United States in contempt. They hold this institution in contempt. They hold the Republican Party in contempt. They hold the Democratic Party in contempt. They think that maybe, given all of the crises facing this country, it's about time that there was some bold leadership here and that this institution made some hard choices.
Look, talk about education. School, not daycare. School, not school, not school. School, not daycare. School. We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by gold. You know the thing.
Well, it was an amazing phone call I made. 40 Wall Street actually was the second tallest building in downtown Manhattan. And it was actually, before the World Trade Center, was the tallest. And then when they built the World Trade Center, it became known as the second tallest, and now it's the tallest. And I just spoke to my people.